Welcome to Tooltech Geek. Today I want to compare three multi-tools that are very different. This is a Victorinox Spirit X, this is a Leatherman Rebar, and this is a very generic one from AliExpress. First difference between these three multi-tools is the price. This is usually in the $160 range. This is more like in the $80, and this is sometimes under $20, maybe $10 or even less $10 from AliExpress. The Victorinox sometimes is on sale, so I got this at like $93 or such, so that's something to consider. They are very different, very obvious. Different is how they are made. The Victorinox has a really high quality finish and some characteristics such as very fine cuts here that are made with some sort of high technology, and also the finish is very shiny, very polished. Then you have the Leatherman, which is kind of similar to the first multi-tools that were made by Leatherman, but they have a locking system, which is a very big improvement versus the very old Leatherman tools. So they all fold into a small compact space, so this will fit very easily in a car glove compartment or in a belt pouch. This one doesn't have a pocket clip. This one doesn't either. None of them have pocket clips, so they are meant to be either in some sort of toolbox or just a pocket or a belt pouch. The Victorinox comes with a leather belt pouch, which is really nice. And this has a nylon one, and I don't remember if this maybe just comes in a box. The main tool of these multi-tools is the pliers. Going to see if they have a good grip for nuts and bolts. So I have here a bolt that's going through wood. I'm going to hold it on one side with one of the pliers and test the other two. So let's see this AliExpress one, how it feels. I think it can do the job. It's somewhat comfortable to hold. Let me see if I need to apply a lot of force, what it is like. Tighten it. Tightening. It's okay. A little bit sharp on these edges, so if you have to do repeated movements, it's not super comfortable. I'm going to switch to the Leatherman Rebar. It has a really good grip. It is not comfortable here. This is pretty sharp. Let me see. It works for a quick task. I think this will do. If you need to do lots of heavy force, this sharpness here is gonna be a little bit uncomfortable. Now I'm gonna switch to the Victorinox. Let me grab the end of the bolt. It is pretty good. So this curvature here makes it quite comfortable. Good grip. So I think for that comfort the Victorinox is a little bit better. This has a bit of a sharp edge. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. If you're gonna use it with gloves, let's say, that would be a different situation. If you're gonna use it with gloves, then it doesn't matter so much. Now we're talking about a much better situation. So keep that in mind. So one of the second most useful things in these multi-tools is the screwdriver. So I'm gonna deploy the screwdrivers. As you can see, the Leatherman sometimes is a little bit rough in terms of folding. It's not super smooth all the time. Presumably it wears out as you use it more and more. All of these tools have a lock that keeps the tool in place, so which is very useful. So I'm gonna try if we can handle a screw. So this is the AliExpress one. The screwdriver is a little bit small. Looks like it's going easily. No major problems. Victorinox is pretty good too. Leatherman, so no issues. Try another one. Let's try a difficult task, such as a very stuck screw. Okay, this one doesn't grab it at all. See the Leatherman. It just slips. Victorinox. This one almost grabs it, but none of them can handle this very stuck screw here. Let's see this other one. The Victorinox can move this screw. Other one. So this does the job for this one. Let me see the Leatherman. Not so good. So for this case, the Victorinox wins. In normal situations though, the three of them work, but for a very specific case here that's pretty stuck, this one had a little bit of a better performance. Let's switch to a different tool now. Let's try the blade. I'm going to fold this one back. Extend just the straight blade. There's the Victorinox one. This looks like a Swiss Army knife blade, and the Leatherman is very sharp. I think I cut myself a few times, or at least once. So Sometimes one possible situation is to remove something. You need to cut a small amount of wood. Let's say if you want to extract this, you may want to remove some material first, so you're able to grab it with a hammer. So if you're able to remove some material, you can do it. So even this cheap Multitool does it. Especially this wood is pretty old and kind of rotten to some extent. See, Leatherman. Yeah, it cuts pretty good. Victorinox also. They'll do a good job. So we can basically whittle a bit the wood around, and then can be able to grab this screw with a hammer to pull it out, or even maybe with the pliers. Let's see, hypothetically, if we make here some room, we can grab this. The ideal tool to remove the screw is the screw extractor, which I don't have in hand. Well, this will do it. It's a little too hard to do. I can imagine this may damage the pliers if you try to do this too much, but if you have a lot of time, this would be a way to remove that screw. Okay, so the blades work for all of them. Let's see the awl. It's very pointy, the one in the Victorinox. The Leatherman is a different shape, and it has a hole for doing some sort of sewing, like leather sewing or such. And generic tool, let's see what it has. This tool resembles an awl, but it's not very sharp. Let me see on the other side. I don't see any sort of sharp awl, so let's try this one. So let's suppose we may want to do it drilling a hole. This, I don't think this will do much. Leatherman cuts the wood, so I think this could be a way to drill a hole, given enough time, depending on how soft the wood is. Now let's try the Victorinox. This is going. So because it's more pointy, makes a deeper hole of smaller diameter. So I think this serves the purpose pretty well. Leatherman has such a different shape, but it does the job too, so they're both pretty good. Switch to a different tool now. unlock. Going to switch to a saw. Leatherman one. Victorinox is about same length, a little bit skinny. Generic tool is also approximately the same size. Let's see how they cut wood. We need to make some sort of cut. Well, this is not too bad really. I was expecting this saw not to perform, but it actually cuts. So this has some sharpness. See, Victorinox. This cuts really fast. Deep groove there. Let's try the Leatherman. It's pretty good, but I think it's gonna get stuck a little. I don't know if it has enough angle. It cuts. So they'll do the job. There's a serrated blade that used to cut fibrous materials. Let's try that. Here are some weeds. It's kind of vegetable materials. See if we can cut it easily. Yeah, this cuts it. See the Victorinox, does it have serrated blade? It has scissors and saw, so you kind of have to pick what to use. There's another Victorinox that has a serrated blade, so this doesn't have one. Let me see, the Leatherman has a serrated blade. Cuts really quickly. Yeah. Okay. So another tool we have is the file. All of these multi-tools have files. These are pretty sharp, all of them. Now the generic one file, I think it's the least impressive. If we do a bit of a test here. You can see it is removing some material. So, even at least one of the sides is doing something, so not that bad. See Leatherman. Expected this is cutting a lot. Expect this to be sharp, and it is. Got a lot of sawdust here. See, the Victorinox was very sharp. I can feel it. It's probably the best, I suppose. Of course, these files, they are new, they're sharp, and then over time they will lose a bit of cutting power. But this one, out of the box, is pretty amazing. Leatherman also pretty good. So that, see what other functions we can test. I think I'm running out of testing things. These are the flathead screwdrivers. I'm not gonna test those. Then you have a can opener, wire stripper, and other tools. So I'm gonna finish here, but we get an idea. These Multitools, even the cheapest one, in some situations was pretty capable. An issue with the Victorinox that some people mention in the forums is that it's so nice looking and expensive that they don't want to use it for any real work. So if you're like that, also you cannot take it apart because it comes riveted, at least not easily. So it's not possible to take it apart for repairs, or if you need to do some sort of deep cleaning. The Leatherman has nuts that with a special tool you can take it apart and maybe replace a tool if you can get a spare part, or let's suppose if you buy a used tool from eBay and then you can swap parts easily. You cannot do that with these. This seems to have a similar system as the Leatherman, with nuts that will come apart, but these are so cheap that you probably buy a new one if you want. So anyway, this was a little comparison. I like all of them. Probably my favorite is the Rebar because it's not so expensive. I don't like to carry something too expensive that I may lose it. It might break and then I will feel bad. So this is kind of best, but I also have a bit of a soft spot for the super cheap stuff because it does a bit of a job, so not as bad as I thought. So thank you for watching.